Hi again, it's Deb James, the Wellness RN for you, and I'm back with another video in the series on grief and loss. And this week we're talking about anger. And anger can show up numerous ways. And I also want to tie this into dealing with someone with dementia. If you have a loved one with dementia, your grieving starts long before the person is gone. As you notice more and more of that person slipping away, you realize that um, you're losing them slowly. And that can lead to some anger issues, as well as after the person passes. Now, the anger may show up in different ways. While the person is still living, as their dementia gets worse, the anger can show up in terms of being upset with the person or being angry at the person for not being able to do something that they had been able to do previously. That was something I had to constantly remind my mother about with my father. His normal routine was he'd get up in the morning, fix my mother a cup of coffee, take it to her in bed, and the day would go from there. Later in the day or in the evening, he would want to make coffee, but he could not remember how to do it. And he would ask my mother, how do I work this thing? And my mother would respond in terms of comments like, well, you know how to do that. I don't need to tell you how to do that. Or, well, you did that this morning. You can do it now. Why can't you do it now? You did it this morning. And I had to constantly remind her that what he's able to do in the morning, he may not be able to do by evening. And that was a huge source of friction between my parents initially, because he would get frustrated because she wouldn't help him, and she would get frustrated and angry because he couldn't do something that he had done earlier. And it really was difficult for her to understand that that memory, that cognition might not be there later on in the day. And it caused some friction. When someone has passed, the anger may show up in constantly bringing out their bad habits, things that you would have ignored or did ignore while they were alive. But once they're gone, you start talking about all the bad habits, all the things that irritated you about them. You can actually be angry at the person for dying and make it their fault that they died. If they had done this, they wouldn't be dead. If they had done that, they wouldn't be dead. If they had just listened to what I had to say, if they had just done what I told them to do, they wouldn't be dead. That's a normal part of the grieving process. And it's something that each person has to work through in their own time. So if you see that behavior in someone that you love who is dealing with someone with dementia or is grieving the loss of someone, understand that it's a part of the grief process. There's denial, then there's anger, and that's normal. And just try to be supportive of them, letting them know that it's okay to feel the way they feel. And at some point, they need to try to go a little deeper to understand why they are reacting the way they are. Sometimes it's a result of guilt. They feel like they didn't do enough for that person when they were in need. And so rather than dealing with the guilt, they put the blame on the other person. And that's normal. So please let me know how you're doing with this series. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know examples of what you've experienced. Or if you'd like to talk to me about what you're experiencing, please go to my website, www.angelichtouchhealthandwellness.net. Leave me a message, leave me a response to this video, and I'll get back with you and schedule a 30-minute conversation for free just to talk about what you're dealing with. And, let's see what we can do together to make the transition a little better for you. All right? So have a wonderful week. I will see you next week, and take care. Bye.